most important event of the years that you have spent in prison?
Which events? International?
Well, doesn't matter. Maybe international.
2014.
Oh, okay. Why?
Well, it's, I guess, would be in the history as a turning point. It's a turning point of Russia. Finally stand up on its knees. Proud, strong.
14 years ago, when if you would have known that it's going to happen with you, I mean, you're going to spend 14 years away from your family, from your motherland, would you do something differently in your life?
It's difficult to live on the callings of your heart. But if you listen in your heart, yes, sometimes you get into trouble, but you never betrayed yourself. And this inner peace gives you enough strength to go through everything. Why? Because you don't have a conflict inside of you. Doesn't matter what. You have peace and tranquility because you trust in your heart. You trust in callings of your blood. You're trusting, and you're never fighting who you are.
Now that's the Merchant of Death talking about, if I'm correct, Mr. Boot is the Merchant of Death, as they say, and that is what the Merchant of Death has to say about our country. Wow. We have fallen so far from grace that a Merchant of Death is making a very poignant, am I using the word correctly? Let me see, one moment. Poignant.
I don't care what that guy says anyways.
Especially pity or sorrow. Good morning, Cali girl. So arousing deep emotion, especially pity or sorrow, touching, keenly distressing in the mind or feelings, physically painful. Okay, I chose the correct word, poignant. He's making a poignant critique of America, given his history. Wow, that's...
Since when do we care what criminals and... Isn't he a drug dealer? What is the Merchants of Death? Is he selling drugs? KGB? I don't know.
I don't know what he's doing. It's just that he has this bad reputation, and a person with a bad reputation is making a critique of the current state of America. And
yeah,
I think that that's pretty, wow. The thing is, like, I'm separating the two things. I mean, he's a pretty bad person, and he's looking at our country and what's going on with the perversion and the just depravity of what's happening in our country, and even he can see it. It's like that's a source of evil, calling out evil in our country. I think that maybe perhaps we should take note of that, and this administration doesn't appear phased, and in fact the mainstream media is telling us not to watch what's happening on Russian television and what the Russian government has to say about our government. There's a reason for that. They don't want the shit coming out that's actually happening in this country, as they've been doing for years. They have been trying to silence the people seeking truth, and you're not allowed to ask certain questions. I mean, look at KJP. You go and ask her questions on the podium, and she'll get all sorts of upset and then start spouting off, I'm covered under the Hatch Act, I don't have to talk about this, I'm covered under the Hatch Act. And just today we saw how KJP was like, I'll say I'm covered by the Hatch Act all day. It's like, she loves saying that because she doesn't want to tell us what's happening.
Like, she's not really an American. Happening.
Well, it's awful. And it's just like, these people who have done terrible things, who have the wherewithal to point out the terrible things happening in this country, I think that should be noticed. I really do. I think that should be noticed.
How come they're censored, but real Americans are how come they're not censored, but we're censored? So that's my big issue with it. I watched some really good stuff yesterday. I don't know if you're familiar with Lara, Lara. Oh no, I forgot her last name. Damn it. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. But so she's working on the child trafficking stuff, and then she led me, and I know I've heard this before. I think maybe from Axe about the video called Shadow. Oh, is it Shadows of Dust? This is what happens when I wake up and I just try to talk.
Oh my gosh.
I have it right here. I think I saved it.
And good morning,
Laura Logan,
Right.
and it's tells all the dark secrets. That's the video. She's being interviewed, and I didn't save the other one, but I'm gonna look it up. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll look it up while you're talking.
Mad World has provided a link to a song. Mad World says, and I believe it was Mad World who supplied this link, says the song is like really good, so let's take a listen.
I've had choices since the day that I was born. There were voices that told me right from wrong. If I had listened, no, I wouldn't be here today, living and dying with the choices I've made. I was tempted by an early age. I found I liked drinking. Oh, and I never turned it down. There were loved ones, but I turned them all away. Now I'm living and dying with the choices I've made. I've had choices since the day that I was born. There were voices that told me right from wrong. If I had listened, no, I wouldn't be here today, living and dying with the choices I made. Guess I'm paying for the things that I have done. If I could go back, oh Lord knows I'd run, but I'm still losing this game of life I play, living and dying with the choices I've made. I've had choices since the day that I was born. There were voices that told me right from wrong. If I had listened, I wouldn't be here today, living, dying with the choices I've made. Living and dying with the choices I made.
Thank you, Mad World, for suggesting that URL to George Jones, and the song was called Choices. Susan! Get off my ass, Susan. I'm archiving over here. Yes, that was nice. Thank you. And an announcement for tomorrow. During the pre-show, I'll be playing part 2 of my D-Trans series. So tomorrow will be part 2, the second appointment I had with the psychotherapist. And yeah, I'll have that.
And that's in the morning before the show?
Yeah, that's in the morning before the show. So let's see. Going back on. Who in the hell sent me something over here? I'm just going to go and take a look at that. Oh, a new subscriber. Yeah.
So I just wanted to say the name of the movie I started watching, or the show I started watching.
Yeah.
It's Out of Shadows. Out of Shadows.
Out of Shadows?
And I put Yes, and I recommend that anybody if you can watch these two things, this really kind of summates what's going on in Hollywood. Out of Shadow summates what's going on in Hollywood. It's a an interview. I can't remember the guy's name.
Is it an
He was a
older
stunt.
film?
I think it's a few years
It's
old.
not that old. This is my wife's red pill in 2020. Out of Shadows.
Thank you.
Am I
There
looking
we
at the
go.
Am I looking at the right one?
It's a
Out
full
of
wake
Shadow.
up.
All right. Well, there's the link to it. If you guys want to go and watch that, by all means.
And then the Laura Logan, I think she just put that out 7 or 8 days ago, and she's talking about child sex trafficking, and she's a reporter. I forget what channel, because sometimes when I watch shit, I'm just like, trying to hear the main things, and to know that if this is really a good video that other people should watch, or if this is just crap. And I came across Laura Logan, which got me to Out of Shadows, and that's he's a stunt man, the main narrator of the thing. He's a stunt man, and he goes through a lot of history and what's going on. And like Adam said, it's a red pill, but if you already have heard all these things, it's a compilation of things that we have been talking about for 8, 10, 12, 30 years, depending on what spectrum of the scholastic or the academic range you're on. Because some of us are in an academic range, PhD level, whatever. We've been reading books for 30 years about what's going to happen. Jihad versus McWorld is one of those books that was out in 1995 that was telling us all this stuff was happening and what was going to happen. There's a playbook out there, people.
Well, let's check out
There's
this.
a playbook out there, and it's an old playbook. Nothing is new under the sun.
Well, let's check out this interview on One America News and see what happened over here. Just so we have some reference. Come on. Come on.
There she is.
Yep, I know. Why aren't you playing? Come on. Oh, internet. What the hell? I need an angry German kid. Hold on. I need the angry German kid to fix this stuff. Here we go. Let's see, is this the one?
Ich will spielen! Los! Einfach schneller! Du Mann, mach wieder!
My sentiments exactly, child. My sentiments exactly. Fucking
Punch that
work.
computer.
What's up?
I said, punch that computer.
Just, oh, what the hell is going on? For real. You guys, I've been having these freaking technological issues this morning, I must say.
Can you believe that we've been doing that since 1995 or something? You just pick the computer up and throw it on the floor. No, I've never done that.
Yeah, no. I
wanted to.
They were too
Kick
expensive.
the printer. Life.
Oh, this is, oh my lord, where are we going with this? CNN, for real? Deodorant, do you really need deodorant? Experts weigh in. All right. Like brushing your teeth or washing your face, putting deodorant on every day might seem like one of those rituals crucial for basic hygiene, but your decision is most likely based on personal and cultural preferences than any potential medical necessity. Dermatology. I don't like to stink. Yeah, I don't like to stink, and I don't want to smell your stink. I don't want to smell your fucking funk. It's like
The vegans say they don't stink.
oh, they smell like fucking rodents, man. And good morning, Gray Man. Good morning again. I don't want to smell you. It's like, man, I don't want to smell your ass. I don't want to smell your pits. I don't want to smell your puss. I don't want to smell any of that. It's like keep your body clean. People have strong preferences and sensitivities to smell. People from the beginning of time have used perfumes, colognes to mask odor. But it's not like flossing your teeth, where there's data that you're actually going to live longer if you floss your teeth regularly. it's not about living longer. It's while you're living, maybe not being so freaking offensive. I mean, good Lord. Okay, fine. Fine. You want to go without deodorant? You want to smell like wild and gamey and everything like that? By all means, do it. And when people are like, ugh, and like look at you like, ugh, and get into your atmosphere area and start getting repulsed, then you own that too. Because it's bacteria. It is freaking bacteria. It says okay, so thoroughly bathing every day, however, is the most important way to avoid bad body odor. Well, yeah, you should keep yourself clean. You should focus in particular on bathing the face, underarm, and genital area, and maybe your ass. I mean, even though the ass isn't considered a genital, I mean, that's an area around the genitals typically, unless you're some freaking mutant and you've got your ass on your head. Okay, so Biden should really wash his face super hard because his ass is like right here. Right here is his ass. Okay, you should focus in particular on bathing the face, underarm, and genital areas. These tend to have more sweat than other parts of the body, which can facilitate, and under the breasts. It wasn't until I developed breasts that I understood boob sweat. So get under the breasts too, because you don't clean under the breasts. Why am I saying this? Oh Lord.
Welcome to my world.
What a freak show we live in. Oh Lord, I'm so sorry for
You
ever
do
becoming.
though. If you
I'm
take
so
a bath
glad you
every
ate
day,
breakfast.
if you bathe every day, you do not need deodorant.
Yeah, if
And
you bathe every day.
as long as you don't eat a bunch of really bad food and drink alcohol and
Well, let me
yeah.
tell you something. If you've had, okay, so let's move on over here to vaginoplasty, what is it? Trans colon. Okay,
I used to
so
work with a real stinky girl. It was her. She didn't believe in any of that stuff. It was against her religion to use products, and I just stood away from her. I didn't, I was like, okay, cool, you're stinky. I'm just gonna make sure I'm 2 feet away from you.
well, especially with all this trans freaking agenda and stuff, with a lot of these people, and it's sad that I have to say a lot of these people choosing the trans colon vaginoplasty, it means that they're resectioning a portion of the sigmoid colon in order
Ugh.
to make a pseudo vagina, right? And then you have to like dilate that and keep it open and everything, and it's like it's a train wreck. Well, you end up like passing feces out of your
Yeah.
man-made
Ugh.
vagina. And
Ugh.
is this
Yeah,
okay?
that's got to be stinky, and that can't be good. It just can't be good.
Is my safe search? In my safe? Oh, my safe search is off. That's why these images are coming up. Okay, I need to be more careful because I don't want to be offensive, but the internet is fucking offensive. So yeah, they're like saying, you don't need to use deodorant every day. Well, what's going to happen to, I don't know, Procter and Gamble? What's going to happen to all these companies who supply these deodorants? I can't. What did these companies? Did they do something wrong? Did they not follow the ESG? Are they being punished? So CNN is putting out a report saying, "Don't use deodorant," because they're mad at the major deodorant. I mean, isn't Johnson and Johnson like a deodorant distributor or creator or something
Yeah.
like that? I think they're angry. I think they're angry with a certain sector in the business, which is giving them some grief. Maybe they're not woke enough. Maybe you can't be woke enough when you're selling deodorant to a bunch of smelly ass hippies.
Well, hippie kids don't wear deodorant. Hippie kids don't wash themselves every day. Hippie kids don't typically brush their teeth, although some of them do, and some of the homeless people do too. I mean, that's one of the number one thing outreach gives them is toothbrush and toothpaste and a deodorant stick. That's like almost universal in any backpack or bag that you're going to give to a homeless person. Are those 3 items?
I would give the
Is this a
homeless.
CNN headline?
What is it? You mean the deodorant thing?
Yeah.
It's one of their stories from CNN, yes.
I was gonna say, is this what they've resorted to?
Well, this is, with Tubin, Jeffrey Tubin jacking off on a Zoom call. It's like, and then all this other like freaking perverted, deviant shit going on at CNN. Of course, they want people to smell like wild animals. And next, Biden wants us to forget when he was on television about 10 years ago saying marriage is between a man and a woman. today when we were watching. Here, maybe they'll just have it.
I hugged him and kissed him and told him I loved him.
10
What the
years
hell is
later,
this? It's another
meet parents
commercial.
who turn pain into power,
Ugh.
standing up for the truth and fighting to make all of us safer. CNN Special Report, Sandy Hook Forever Remembered, tonight at 10.
Vital step toward equality, toward liberty and justice, not just for some, but for everyone. Everyone. Toward creating a nation where decency, dignity, and love are recognized, honored, and protected. Today, I sign the Respect for Marriage Act into law. Deciding whether to marry, who to marry, is one of the most profound decisions a person can make. And as I've said before, and some of you might remember, on a certain TV show 10 years ago, I got in trouble. Marriage.
Are we going to get to that?
I mean this involved my heart. Marriage is a simple proposition. Part of this important.
We already covered this during the pre-show.
Look.
Like, all the people he put in like positions of power are these super deviant pervert kink fetishists.
Yeah,
And now he's
exact-
talking about marriage. Okay, so
Here,
CNN
don't
isn't going to show us what Biden said 10 years ago. So why don't we go and like look at what Biden said? I mean, do we already know what Biden said 10 years ago? Man, woman.
Well, we already know he's just going to say whatever
Marriage.
he wants to say, and he doesn't even care that he said something else.
Well,
10
let's
years
see.
ago or-
Let's see if we can maybe, I don't know, maybe pull up that thing. Here, flashback, May 6th, 2012. Here we go. Just for posterity, Susan. Here we go.
I'm curious, you know, the president has said that his views on gay marriage, on same-sex marriage, have evolved, but he's opposed to it. You're opposed to it. Have your views evolved?
Look, I just think that the good news is that as more and more Americans come to understand what this is all about is a simple proposition. Who do you love? Who do you love? And will you be loyal to the person you love? And that's what people are finding out is what all marriages at their root are about. Whether they're marriages of lesbians or gay men or heterosexuals.
Is that what you believe now?
That's what I believe.
And you're comfortable with same-sex marriage now?
Look, I am Vice President of the United States of America. The President sets the policy. I am absolutely comfortable with the fact that men marrying men, women marrying women, and
Watch his fingers, man. Just watch his fingers. He has his fingers like clenched so tightly that it is turning the distal flanges of his fingers white because he's cutting off blood circulation. He is clenching his hands so hard, and then watch him keep on like tenting and stuff like that. And by the way, some of you may have noticed that my face has just recently become rosy. I'm having a motherfucking hot flash on testosterone. What the fuck? Anyway, here we go.
no.
I know, right? I'm gonna rage. Ha ha!
heterosexual men and women married men are entitled to the same exact rights, all the civil rights, all the civil liberties. And quite frankly, I don't see much of a distinction beyond that.
In a second term, will this administration come out behind same-sex marriage, the institution of marriage?
I can't speak to that. I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you.
But it sounds like you'd like to see it happen if that's where the president would get to.
The president continues to fight, whether it's don't ask, don't tell, or whether it is making sure across the board that you cannot discriminate. Look at the executive orders he's put in place. Any hospital that gets federal funding, which is almost all of them, they can't deny a partner from being able to have access to their partner's ill or making the call on whether or not they, it's just, this is evolving. And by the way, my measure, David, and I take a look at when things really begin to change, is when the social culture changes. I think Will and Grace probably did more to educate the American public than almost anything.
Fuck! Did I not call it with Will and Grace? Did I not mention? Pardon me?
You did.
Yes, Will and Grace was a fucking grooming series. I shit thee not when I was standing in Rumors in St. Paul, Minnesota, drinking a pitcher of beer, and I saw Will and Grace up on the dance monitor because it was like the afternoon. I was drinking in the afternoon. Anyway, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? This has got to be the worst fucking portrayal of what it is to be gay in America. I was like, holy shit, we are a commodity. I hate Will and Grace. I fucking hate Will and Grace. I've hated them for decades because they've been around for about 2 decades. I hate that show because it's so awful. It does not represent me at all. And now here we have Biden 10 years ago saying, and thank God for Will and Grace, educating people. No, that was yeah.
Wasn't Will and Grace like kind of like when did that start? Like in the 80s or something? 'Cause
No,
I
it was
remember.
after the 80s. It was like let
Okay.
me see.
No,
It
it was
got
like
back.
the early 2000s.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it that late? Okay, because I remember watching it and I didn't hate it that much, but I didn't realize it was really propaganda. I just guess probably I identified with it because in a certain way, my first boyfriend was gay, and I didn't know he was gay at when we were going out. I didn't find out till 4 years later. So things like that were like the first time you ever saw anything like that on TV. Like I had no idea that gay men, would be in a relationship with women. I just didn't really understand that.
It should have
And that was
stayed.
in the 80s. That was in the 80s. I
It
was 20. Okay,
This stuff
19.
never
Sorry.
should have come out. That was the point right there where it started affecting the kids. It's like, yeah, it was grooming the kids too because it was like right there on prime time. It's like the kids are back from school, they can watch Will and Grace. Oh, look at the fun drunk rich lady who's a whore. Oh, look at Jack, the whorish
Yeah.
gay man. Oh, look at Will, the well put together and professional yet somehow emotionally distant gay man, and then his friend Grace, who's just a mess. I mean, just a emotional mess. I mean, these are
That
not
was
good
me.
role models.
So Out of Shadows actually addresses some of this Hollywood stuff and why they have to tell you, and then once you go along with it, you're giving consent because you didn't say no.
Well, who could say? I mean, hello, people said no
And
to it, and they were told to shut up. I mean, here,
yeah,
like, let me back
yeah.
up. Let me back up so I can play that one more time. What he said.
I think Will and Grace probably did more to educate the American public than almost anything anybody's ever done so far. And
You smiley
American
motherfucker.
culture changes. I think Will and Grace probably did more to educate the American public than almost anything anybody's ever done so far. And I think that people fear that which is different. Now they're beginning to understand. They're beginning to understand that this as a base. I was speaking to a group of gay leaders in Los Angeles two weeks ago. And one gentleman looked at me in the question period and said, "Let me ask you, how do you feel about us?" And I had just walked into the back door of this gay couple, and there were their 2 adopted children. And I turned to the man who owned the house. I said, "What did I do when I walked in?" He said, "You walked right to my children. They were 7 and 5, and giving you flowers." And I said, "I wish every American could see the look of love those kids had in their eyes for you guys."
It was
Of course, he
staged.
went right to the children.
Right to the children.
Right
Did
to
that-
the
Hello from
children.
Washington. I'm
And
Chuck
it
Todd,
was
and thanks for checking out.
staged. It's fucking staged. Holy shit. 10 years ago. Okay, and you got in trouble for that? Well, thank you for pointing that out during your fucking gay little speech before you did the gay marriage, interracial, and whatever Brittany Griner bullshit you did. It's like, thank you for reminding us so I could go and access some history. And thank you, Susan, for whoever the fuck. This is YouTube. Thank you, Susan, for not having this little bit of bullshit scrap from the internet so we could go back and take a look at what the fuck this asshole was up to. Thank you so much. Now, what do we have over here? Fog. I think Fog started a game streaming channel.
I had to jump in real quick.
Yes, Maine.
He said in a matter of 5 seconds, he said, "I walked in the back door of 2 gay couples."
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, that's pretty bad phrasing. And then immediately after said, "What did I do? I went right over to the kids."
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, you came in the back door of a gay couple and then you went to their kids?
Came in the back
Sure
door.
as shit did.
You fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Sick. He's a sick fucker.
Yeah.
That lady called it too. She said, and he walked right up to the kids. That is just disgusting. I mean, I don't want.
I just want to point this out and all the disgust. What we know about Tara Reid's allegation against Joe Biden, because I want people to remember this as well. is that they're trying to hush up the Tara Reid thing while he's talking about love is love and everything and like defensive marriage. And his earlobes, are they connected? Are they connected now? Because we just saw them disconnected.
It is not true.
Come on, turn your
I'm
fucking.
saying unequivocally, it never happened, and it didn't.
For the first time, Joe Biden.
All right, so
personally
he's sitting with
addressing a
this
sexual
hell
assault
wench,
allegation
this
dating back to-
fishwife.
And it didn't.
You guys know this one from MSNBC, this fishwife? Oh Lord, she is soul. I mean, she's soulless. She will go and undermine any amount of freedom and always be like, oh, they're attacking our democracy. It's like speech is dangerous and all that stuff. It's like, if you don't know this bitch on, oh, wait a minute. She's on CNN? She has a counterpart on, oh no, this is MSNBC right there. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. It's almost like incest. It's like MSNBC is inside CNN. Wow. I mean, shit. Tara has a channel here on.
Out of the shadows.
Does she? What?
So Kevin, have you seen Obama say that Joe Biden can go deep on some pasta with red sauce? Have you seen that clip?
No. Do you have it?
Sure.
Okay, put it in the Odysee
that
chat.
makes me want to barf.
These bitches. This is the propaganda. I mean, like, this is like in your face propaganda. This is the stuff my husband listens to. Oh.
That's Out of Shadows. You get Bruce down and you'd say, "Oh, I've got a really good recommendation on this video, Out of Shadows." He'll watch it because it's a stuntman saying it.
So tell me
Laura,
about
wait a minute.
Joe and your relationship with Joe, and
oh my
what
gosh,
do I
hold
need
on.
to know? Like, what's the thing about the ice cream? He loves ice cream. Tell me about that.
Well, listen, ice cream is big. Pasta with red sauce. He can go deep.
You can go deep on that pasta with red sauce.
Yes, thank you for muting the host of the show, Adam.
The video just did it.
I know it did. But yes.
You guys know about pasta? What pasta means?
Yes, I know what the pasta means. I know what the red sauce means. Do you guys know what the pasta and red sauce means?
I think everyone knows. Sorry for sharing that.
No, it's okay. It's fine. It's absolutely fine to do that. Absolutely. And good morning, Laura. Oh, disgusting. Like,
and
we're
like
just
Callie
supposed to...
was saying,
What's
there
up?
is a precedent for them, the Luciferians. They have to share this information. It's part of the spell casting. The mind manipulation can't fully enact itself inside of your psyche unless you allow it.
You have to allow it. I mean, and there are certain
parts. You can't stay plugged into the matrix completely involuntarily.
See, and that's the part of, like, with the grooming and stuff like that, when I was talking about, like, my experiences through the military and, like, with that sergeant who, like, had me groomed and stuff like that, I allowed it. However, at the same time, I didn't know what was going on. With the VA telling me I was transgender and convincing me to cut my testicles off and go and, like, have my, dick inverted and, like, made, like, a freaking Russian nesting doll and shit like that. It's like, at the time, it seemed like a good idea.
While you were disassociated.
While I was disassociated.
That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. Oh my God.
Yeah, and
it makes
now
me so angry, Kevin. It really does.
And now they're pulling that shit of, like, if you don't come in and, like, follow the ritual, where before I was able to do a blood draw in the parking lot without a mask on, I was like, okay, this isn't right, but it's like, it's better than, going against my beliefs and stuff like that. It's like this, I'm giving a blood draw in a parking lot. They are saying, no, now you need to come into the walls, wear a mask, and if you don't, we're not going to give you any more medical support. Well, shit. It's
control,
like, I guess,
dominance.
Yeah, control, coercion, dominance,
Dominance and control.
under the guise of, oh, it's your choice. It's your choice. It's all part of this fucking ritual. And of course I'm going to fight against it. Yes. Pasta, little boy, ice cream, male prostitute. So let's see, the sauce, the orgy. I mean, my gosh, what is the red? Oh, don't tell me the red is blood. Please don't tell me that they're fisting children.
No, God.
Oh.
They are. I mean, if you listen to Laura Logan's, she gives testimony of the things. She's been doing this for 35 years, and she gives eyewitness testimony of shit she's seen, pictures, and also of other people that have worked in that field, what they have seen over, the snuff, and she gives testimonies. I really recommend, if you get a chance to watch that video, both of those. And I think if you and Bruce watch Out of Shadows, something might click on him. He might like it because it's the the guy's a stunt man that's telling the story, and he's giving his firsthand, like his wake ups. Like,
every time I start one of those videos and stuff, and if he cues in that it's something conservative, he'll put on his headphones or he'll leave the room. He is aware of, like I said, I sleep with the enemy. I sleep with the enemy.
Well, maybe just start watching it, and if he doesn't come sit down with you and try to find out what you're watching, like be nonchalant about it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just watch this, and who knows? Who knows? You never know. You never know what's gonna click the brain when the switch is gonna get clicked.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
You never know.
I can
just
tell
don't. You don't know. We don't know. Like, we can click in and out. We can be triggered to disassociate so easily, and we don't realize it. A psychiatrist, if you have your psychiatrist start asking you to do things backwards, spell world backwards, or count from 100 backwards, that's part of their magic. And you think nothing of it because you're just like, oh, I'm going to go to this psychiatrist because I'm having all these problems. And then they're going to disassociate you because they already know if you were raped before you're 8 years old that you're going to be disassociating. That's what the man love boy thing is about.
That's disgusting.
It is common knowledge amongst anybody that's into this bullshit that once if you're coming in, and psychiatrists know that's what they're they're in their training when they go to work for whoever they're working for. They're being trained to look for this. If someone says they were raped before a certain age, blah 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 blah, then do this. If this, then that. That's our medical system. They have it all rigged. There are no doctors that are making individual decisions for themselves. Kevin's doctor that he met with the other day is going to go back to the computer and type in what he said, or she's already got it in the computer. Maybe, I don't know, who knows what they're using. And the computer's going to say, okay, he said blah, 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 blah. So now we need to dominate him and control him and get him into our lab where we have complete control and dominance over him.
See, and I'm not doing it again because I've already been victimized by the system of the, in this particular thing, the VA medical system. I'm not going back. Now, Mad World, thank you very much for the support, and good morning.
Kevin, I'm praying that you can get as much help as you can, but that you realize that you're in this battle on your own.
Oh, I know I'm in this battle on my own.
I know you do. I know you're awake right now. I know. I see it. We see it every day. But they want to get you in there so they can somehow manipulate you and tell you, oh, anybody that's supporting you is doesn't have your best interest. We don't even know you. You know, and also watch out for anybody that's trying to do backwards spells on you. Just watch out. I don't know. It can really pull you into that, Get Out, the movie Get Out. She's tinkling her teacup and she puts him right under, We don't know some of us know what our triggers are and some of us don't know what our triggers are.
I saw that film, Get Out. That was a good one. And good morning, Eve. I want to get to this video Mad World dropped on me. Thank you for the support. Let's see what this is. I don't know what this is.
What do we do the next time Israel is attacked from an outside force? What do we do at that point?
That's the wrong question.
No, that's not the wrong question, because we never get the condemnation of Hamas or Hezbollah. It's always after Israel responds to defending itself.
No, it's not. The problem is that this conflict has lasted for years, and the United States has been largely passive. So the right question is not what do we do when things break down. The right question is what do we do to avoid a breakdown by being engaged seriously in the peace process. And for the last 8 years, we haven't been. And that's why we have the mess like we have right now in our hands.
You can't blame what is happening in Israel right now on the Bush administration.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Well, look, Joe.
Okay, let's go back to 2000, Dr. Brzezinski. you and I both know Bill Clinton gave Arafat and the Palestinians everything they could have wanted.
Such a stunningly superficial knowledge of what went on that it's almost embarrassing to listen to you.
Oh, is it?
If you were to look more closely at what happened in the Clinton Camp David discussions, you would know that what we have just said is absolutely wrong. There were all sorts of provisions and catches to the so-called proposal, and it wasn't rejected. The negotiations went on in Taba, and then there were elections in Israel, and Sharon came in, and everything got aborted. In the last 8 years, we had a policy in which we have proclaimed an interest in peace. Condi Rice has traveled 16 times in 21 months to the region, proclaiming, you must do this, you must do that, but the United States never exerted itself. So the issue that Obama faces, and that's a question that you raised, is, are we going to be sitting there issuing condemnations, whether it's of Hamas or of Israel or anybody else, or are we going to be seriously engaged in the peace process? That is the question.
We have another block, and I'm very excited about that. But
Woman in red looked like she was about to jump over the desk and strangle this man.
Because I'm stunningly superficial.
Chief, I look forward to you being very condescending.
How he spanked him. You hear what he said? How he said it? I can't. He said, "You're." Go ahead.
They're being very condescending to this man.
Yeah, but did you hear how he cut them down? That they don't know the information. So how dare they say what they're saying?
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, that's right there where he stuck the knife in him. He's like, you guys are not reporting. You guys are pieces. Yeah, he cut them.
And I think I see why Mad World put this up, because this lady right here has been doing this now. This is a 13-year-old video. All right.
Yeah.
Is it Mika? Is that the name of this woman right here on MSNBC? Has she been doing this well over 13 years?
Looks like it.
Because she is a witch. I mean, she is.
Well, it's so fun to watch some of these old videos, about the Nazis and Iran and all that stuff, because you see Barbara Walters in some of them.
Well,
and then she'll be in their country, and like certain periods of time she didn't have hijab on, and then all of a sudden you'd see her in America in a studio talking about Arab stuff, and she'd have a scarf on.
Right.
It's very odd.
Well, what I'm pointing out with this is that this MSNBC, these people who they have telling the news, and they're always like, trust us, and we're a reliable source, and everything like that. They've been gaslighting. I mean, I've known this since I was in Desert Storm. CNN would send reports to the American people, and I'd call my parents on our mobile subscriber transmissions equipment, and I would go in through my international hub, and I would place calls from my rig, because I was in communication, so I had access to that stuff. They would tell me what they were viewing on the news, and I was like, that's not what's happening over here. I was like, I don't know why they're telling you that this and that is going on. Well, a few months later, actually, it was like I was still out in the field, and apparently I called my parents, and I had been out of commission for a while because we had been traveling. And apparently someone had contacted my parents from my unit, because all of our calls, of course, were listened to. They were monitored. My parents received a call that I had died in service. All right? Very odd, considering that you're supposed to actually go to the person's house when you're announcing that a veteran or a soldier has passed away. That's how it normally happens. Well, somebody made a call to my parents, but 2 weeks before that, I was in a tent being held at the end of a rifle by my own team, because they were upset with me because I had misplaced my M16. Okay? I was guilty of that. I had left it hanging outside of my rig while I was going inside the rig to go get equipment from inside. When I came out, my weapon was missing. It was only a few minutes I was in that rig. Come out, weapon's missing. Go to my sergeant. Well, they had my weapon. The reason why they were going to end my life is because we were in an active war zone. And if my weapon had gotten into the wrong hands, that could have been very bad for the rest of the troops. It was interesting.
They stole your weapon, and then they were going to kill you because they stole your weapon.
They didn't. It's called teaching a soldier a lesson.
Yeah.
I was not I made a mistake. However,
Yeah.
what was interesting to me is that my parents during that time had received a call saying that I had died in combat. And
Wow.
that's what was concerning to me, is that, wow, it wasn't just a, like, you know, hey, you soldier, you better not misplace your weapon again. They actually initiated the call to my parents, which means that they had intended to end my life in a tent in the middle of Saudi Arabia.
Well, that sounds like a little bit of satanic ritual abuse out in the desert in the military against. Yeah, I mean, I understand. I get it. I get why they did it, but I don't think that was right. But
No.
yeah, I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I've never been in a war zone. I've never, been in the military.
All right. It looks like Drunken Rocky has a rant coming up in 1 day, so I'm going to leave him a flame. And it looks like 45-1 Actual's Big Dick Energy Brigade radio show is in process. I'm going to head on over there and put this on the mute for a moment as I close off the show. Keep in mind, tomorrow I will be playing part 2 of the D-Trans series, The Appointment Between My Psychotherapist and I. So that'll be
Great,
played
I
during
can
the
wait
pre-show.
to see that.
Yes, that'll be played during the pre-show. I'd like to thank everyone who showed up today. God bless you all. We will see you tomorrow morning. And for now, let's go on over to 45-1 Actual and catch his high energy show. As you know, this is his second to last show this year. He will next week and the week after. So this week you get today and you get Friday of BDE. After that, you're not going to see BDE until season 2 of next year. So there you go. That's it. Again, God bless, and we'll talk to you guys later.
See you guys later.
Bye.